Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live chat. Letting people come on in, stream on in. Hi, everybody. Fudge in the chat, everybody. welcome, everyone, to the Bachelor in Paradise Week 3 Night 1 post-show discussion, where we're just going to be talking about the show that just happened and get my off-the-cuff reaction to everything. Talk with everybody who's been watching the show, get everyone's opinion, see what everyone's feeling on it. And so we really only have a couple of rules here. Number one is just be kind to each other. Please, no toxicity. Won't be tolerated, anything like that. And the other one is no outright spoilers, please. Also, today we've announced a couple of things. Number one is a Discord channel where you can come and just chat about the show. Be sort of patient with us as we kind of figure out what the heck this is. We're going to be building upon the Discord and the server as we get along. So periodically we will be probably in the chat posting the invite link to the Discord. One of the cool things for me is it's a place where we can just, people can just come chat. Even if I'm not around, you can chat around about the show. And we're formulating the basic rules and everything about that as we go. It's still a bit of a learning experience for me, so be patient. But we're gonna build some cool things with that, I promise. Also today we had the 50K dog reveal video. If you haven't watched that, if you haven't checked that out, here are my two dogs, Jackson and Bob. They're the best. If this were any time other than late at night, Jackson would be in here going, what the heck is going on? And he almost does sometimes. But, no, he always checks up on me. Bob's, oh, this is too late. He's long napping. But, yeah, so, and if you're new to the stream, if you're new, and wondering what the heck is going on, don't worry, there will be videos, regular recaps and everything on the way real soon. This is just a post-show bonus. So, yes, and happy birthday, Bob! Yeah, it is Bob's birthday for another few hours, so happy birthday, Bob. Yeah, so let's talk about the show. It started off with a bang with Jordan and Christian in a fight, and I'm pretty sure they got it right. They got it right with kicking them both off. That's my opinion. It's one thing to kind of initiate a fight. It's another that he power slammed him, and I think that's where you go, okay, can't do anything. So you have to get him too. And then Christian was just pushing through tons of security personnel. So, yeah, give Bob a treat for me. Absolutely. Absolutely I will. Yeah, Jordan's gone. He's gone. So is Christian. So is Wills and Cam and Kevin. And there was a friendship rose up for grab, but Onyeka decided she was just going to leave herself. That there was nobody there for her. She wasn't having a good time, so she left. And that meant Cam thought he was going to get her rose as a friendship rose. He kind of came up and started talking to her about how Mike was not interested in her and that she should give, it's up to her, but if she wanted to give him the rose as a friendship rose and yada yada yada, but then Onyeka just went home. So then Cam went home. And Cam, I hope you find love. I just don't think it's going to be on any Bachelor show. So yes, and then there was JPJ and Tasha, which are the couple of all couples in Paradise. They were so cute together. He just, I don't know, John Paul Jones seemed so sincerely just blown away by her. It was very cute. Seemed almost normal. So, that was fun to watch. Do you think the producers nudged Christina to save Blake just to keep that drama going? It was definitely in my mind. Definitely in my mind as it happened because it seemed so like strange. And yeah, we'll talk about Christina. So it came down to the last rose, and Christina was the person to give it, and she decided to give it not to like a friendship rose. Her reasoning for it all was like, I want to give this person a chance to find love. I think they deserve it. And her reasoning of it all could have easily been applied to like Wills or Kevin as well, or any of the other guys. Um, so, but she decided to give it to Blake, and I don't know, it just didn't make sense to me. Didn't make sense to me at all. Um, her reasoning after that was that she wanted Blake to sit there and watch as Hannah and Dylan engaged in, lovey-doveys, and he was going to be out of it, and it was going to be his personal hell. But really, all she's doing is enabling him to stay another, not just 1 week, but two, because he's going to get the power for the rest of the week. And then also the possibility of meeting new people and having happiness and all that stuff, which she's apparently trying to, make him feel hell over. So it just didn't feel right to me. I mean, there was a producer touch to it as well, but they're also in the like kind of preview that they showed, the little preview at the end of this episode, that Christina then starts pursuing Blake even more. Which is it her secretly being into him, or is it her like giving up her time on Paradise so she can string Blake along and then crush him later or something like that? I don't know, it's all a bit weird. It's all a bit weird, and I don't think it's right. I think she should have just let him go if that's really what she was doing. But yeah, there certainly could be I would definitely feel there's a producer element involved. Now, as far as are they like pushing her heavily to do that? I don't know. Are they hinting at it to her and kind of hoping she does it? Very possible. Yeah, Hannah G was cruel. Yeah, but there will be a redemption arc, um, for sure. Because I think at the end, uh, we've sleuthed out who she's going to be with, and so I think they're going to take some time to repair that in the editing. So, but definitely, it's one of those things where like you're yelling at her on the screen because she did seem to, as far as the editing goes, she did seem to like make out with Blake right in front of Dylan for a long while, and then all of a sudden choose Dylan, and yeah, makes things a little easier to swallow though that she chose Dylan. And I was almost certain that she would choose Dylan simply because he would have left if she didn't. He wouldn't have like stayed around and taken a friendship rose from someone else. He would have just left. Um, and we've seen more info from Dylan. We've seen more shots from Dylan in future previews. What are your thoughts on Dylan and Hannah G's one-on-one? Uh, yeah, I think Dylan's he seems sincere, and Hannah I think is leaning into the I don't know, maybe she saw I don't know, like Hannah, she seems to also be into Dylan, but she's not quite as far as Dylan is. She's not as far along. So um I think when he sort of like said I'm falling in love with you. I'm not surprised that she didn't reciprocate those kinds of feelings. And I really hope Tasha and JPJ stay together. I think sleuthing indicates that they likely will. Yeah, Blake screwed up royally by not asking Hannah on the first date. I think so. Things could have maybe been different for him if that happened, but I think all the drama still would have come out. And Roberta Jackson, serious question: why are women still swooning over Dean after how he treated Christina? Lives in a van, has a mustache. I can go on. I think they're well. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to live in a van? Thanks for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Van life is, exciting apparently, but I think it's pretty much just physical attraction. So I think that's all it is. The same reason why Christina came in and all like Kaylin came in and all these women were coming in around him. That's about it. But, you know, Blake didn't pick Hannah for the first date because he already thought he had her in the bag. Possibly. Possibly. But I think he mostly maybe yeah, possibly he thought you know, that's the thing that's going to happen. We're going to talk. I want to talk to Tasha because maybe we haven't talked as much. Hannah's dress on that date had me sitting up in my chair. At first I thought it was a see-through fishnet dress borrowed from Cardi B. Well, actually, apparently I saw on Twitter she borrowed that from Christina. According to her Twitter account. And did you see Mike's interview with Lauren Zima? He said he wasn't in talks for The Bachelor. I was freaking shook. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't take that as a sign that he's not going to be a bachelor. Because what is he gonna say, right? Mike, he's not gonna say, oh yeah, I'm in talks to be the bachelor. I'm going to be the bachelor. He's still on Bachelor in Paradise, so it would be against his best interest to tell people, yeah, I'm in talks for the Bachelor, because it would mean that he doesn't end up with someone. So and then the people at the Bachelor would probably be pretty upset about that, right? Like, hey man, look, you just like kind of ruined a bit of the upcoming season of Bachelor in Paradise, so they're going to be on bad terms with him because they still probably haven't made the official sign the dotted line, and chances are he's also probably one of a couple of people in talks for Bachelor. So I imagined of course he would say that. He would just say no, 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 and then it would happen, and it's very easy for him to say yeah, I wasn't in talks with it, if someone say were to confront him on this, which wouldn't happen. But yeah, no, I wasn't, and then I became in talks with producers. So I wouldn't necessarily count him out just based off of that. But I mean, it could be true. It could be true. Yeah, Peter still has a shot, but I'm getting that feeling in my bones about Mike, right? But then again, I had that feeling for Hannah. I didn't have it for Colton. So there you go. There you go. So basically we're back to square one. But yeah, I think he could potentially, if he doesn't end up with anyone in Paradise, it could be that momentum that ooh, his story, we're thinking about him, right? I think they will put Derek in the running now. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I still think he would be much below Mike or Peter. And Tyler, I think, is just not a thing. I think Tyler's kind of out of the universe a little bit. Probably going to focus more on his modeling career and some other stuff. maybe return for Paradise. I don't know. I'm feeling like Tyler is not something. Tyler doesn't want to do it, and probably the Bachelor people, they might want to veer from him as well. So yeah, they're gonna wait to see how Bachelor in Paradise shapes up. But I feel like they have a really good idea of who they're gonna pick. They're just kind of waiting it out. So yeah, I no, I haven't seen it, but someone in chat had just said that there was an interview with Mike or something where he said, "Oh, I'm not in talks to be the Bachelor," but I think he could very well like have said that, but it still doesn't necessarily mean he would be not going to be the Bachelor, or it doesn't necessarily mean that he actually isn't in talks and that he truly is, but I think there's multiple people. I've heard that they also often will have a couple of people in talks, right? And so they have their options, and they say, okay, we've got you 3 people, and you're in the running, and you're going to sign a contract, and then in the contract it also gives us the right to choose one of you, and that's just part of the process. We're going to figure that out. So, yeah. What if they choose someone from early seasons like they did with Ari as the Bachelor? So I think they want to try to avoid that, and I'll tell you why. I've spoken about it like in some past videos and stuff like that, but they mostly like the reason why choosing someone from Paradise is so good for the franchise is because it's like the freshest in people's minds, right? Even though we all, as like everyone who's here is pretty much a Bachelor Nation like member, Bachelor Nation fan, and so we won't forget Peter. But if you're thinking about the mass audience, a lot of people after Paradise is over, they're gonna go they might remember Peter, but they aren't thinking about Peter. Whereas they're going to be thinking about Mike. So it continues that storyline, that excitement for a new fresh start for Mike, right off the edge of Paradise to go into a season of The Bachelor, and it carries that excitement further along the off season, and Peter could still carry that too. But if they went back even further, there's going to be a lot of people who watched this season for the first time. And are new to the franchise who are going to say, who's Ari? Who's this person? It doesn't quite matter as much on Bachelor in Paris because there are so many people. Like Chris B, it doesn't matter if people don't know who they are, or Dean, they don't know who they are because they're fresh to the series. But for The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, the leads, it's very important. So I think they want to avoid that as much as possible. Now, I believe with Ari, there were options that they explored, but that it never worked out. Like Peter from Rachel's season, that he didn't want to do it apparently, so he turned it down. And then they kind of went through their options and went, "Oh, geez, there's nothing good here, so we have to go with a past contestant." So I think that's sort of why they went with Ari, and they're gonna try to avoid it, but it could happen. It could happen. Say they go, "Oh yeah, no, we want Mike," and Mike says, I don't want to do it," or "I've met someone," or yada yada yada, and then they go, "Oh, okay, Peter," and Peter says, "You know what? I'm actually just like too busy, like being a pilot or whatever," and he says no, and then they kind of go down their list and they say, "Oh, maybe Derek or something." No, he says, "I'm done with this," and then they go, "Okay, well, we have to find someone from the past." And then Ben Higgins becomes our Bachelor again. Or Nick. Yeah. Jason for Bachelor, yeah. Well, he's with Caitlin Bristow, so that won't happen either. Wills, yeah. Yeah, Wills. Wills deserves love. Why does Blake get the friendship rose and Wills gets nothing? So yeah, and Mike, Mike, he's got no real screen time this episode, except for like bumping his head. but but he will. We've seen some a connection with. Looks like Jen Saviano is going to be in Paradise, and she's coming in next week. She has a date with Chris B, which Katie gets upset about, or next episode, sorry. And but we also have seen her with. It's either her or Angela, who was Clay's ex-girlfriend, but I think it might be Jen. And her and Mike have some sort of date. So there's still going to be some Mike footage to come. I think this episode was kind of bulldozed by a few other storylines, and so when there are so many people in Paradise, I think there are these like storylines that just get pushed to the wayside, not because they're bad, just because there's other things to do, like the fight and the whole Demi stuff that takes up the screen time. So, as opposed to The Bachelor, sometimes the bad edits come from they just don't they just I don't know, don't find you interesting, or you don't do anything interesting, or they don't think you're worth screen time, I guess, as mean as that is to say. Thoughts on the ethics of Demi coming on Paradise with strong feelings for another person? Comparison / differences between Jed. Yeah. So I'd seen that. I'd seen this discussion happening on Twitter a bit. This well, if like we got so mad about Jed doing it, why aren't we as mad about Demi doing it? And my reaction to that is it's a bit different. So I think, like, I understand why people feel that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Demi was extremely open about this. So, like, she's not there with Derek, who is proposing to her, and her saying, oh, by the way, this girl, or accepting a proposal from Derek, and then, like, a day afterwards saying, oh, by the way. So there is differences here. But yeah, no, I get why people say that, because at the end of the day, it does, there is a bit of a feeling of like, well, did she kind of plan this, or what's the deal here? Is this like a conspiracy or something? But there is a difference. So I cut her a little bit of slack. And thanks, Story. Thank you for the donation. Will you be going to Stagecoach this year? Whoo, yeah. Who wouldn't? I'm gonna be coming with my binoculars and doing some Bachelor watching all the drama unfold. Because apparently that's where everyone meets. Everyone comes in and is like, oh yeah, Stagecoach, I met you there. Oh no. Do you think they will let Demi leave the show if she wanted, or will they keep her for drama? I think she's definitely going to be staying because, one, we've seen footage of her still. So, and we've seen her with her mystery woman, her girlfriend, who we now have confirmation on, because Demi mentioned her name on the show, and then, like, immediately people started figuring out who it was, posting images of her Instagram account with Demi. So yeah, I'll post that in a video soon to come. So just so you can see that for yourself, or you can pretty much Google it at this point really easily, or it's just like on Twitter. Can you believe JPJ is a financial analyst? Why don't they tell us these things? Yeah, I know. He's apparently, and I'd heard this, so, like, apart from the financial analyst, whatever, all that stuff, a lot of people saying, like, John Paul Jones is very intelligent. And he's more than just, like, a brah guy. So, yeah. I'm not surprised that this aspect of him is coming out, and him and Tasia. It's so nice to see something that feels like genuine, right? He feel like they had a conversation, and between every sentences they were like just like kissing each other, and he just seemed so flustered and genuine in everything he was saying. It's so refreshing. That's like what we come to see um, in Paradise or on the show, on any of these shows. It's not the ones where you're kind of thinking like, ooh, are they putting on a show or something here? Are they caught up in the TV-ness of everything? That's why they're doing it. So I think that's the feeling that people are getting when they see the two. And Alyssa, thank you so much for the super chat. King Jordan is a true friend to Clay. He does his dirty work. He slammed. He sacrificed himself so Christian could be eliminated. No, yeah. The real victim in all of this is the piñata, I gotta say. Just completely discarded. And Roberta Jackson, thank you so much for the super chat. What's your take on Blake's jealousy rant about Hannah and Dylan's date? Does he actually like her and is sad to lose her, or is this an ego thing? So, I feel like he is sad to lose her. I feel like that's because he wants her the most, and so he's sad that he doesn't get to have her. So I do think that he is sad about that. It was a very, very strange rant. And there was definitely ego in there, and I'll tell you why. It's because of how he spoke about Hannah. Like, that's what she would have done if she, that's how she would have reacted when I asked her out. That's what she would have wore on our date. As opposed to, like, I wish she would have gone on a date with me. I wish I had asked her out and she had said yes. It was her excitement being with Dylan is how she would have reacted if I had asked her. As if like it was just because Dylan got there first or whatever that's the reason why it's happening. If I was there, it would have been different. You know, not to mention the fact that he had gotten in there, kissed her, and she still gave a rose to Dylan. You know, so like all the Blake stuff, like let's put aside all the knowledge of, you know, the stagecoach stuff. Let's say that in, you know, reality, Blake actually is in the right about everything. Let's just like figure that. When you say something like that, you say like, yeah, that's how she would have reacted if I did that. If that's how she would have reacted, and she would have been so excited if I asked her. That's an ego thing. That's an ego thing. There's one thing to be sad about, like, yeah, you know, I wish I had done that. I wish I had been there. I wish I was with her. It's one thing. Everyone has that. Everyone has been there. But it's another thing to say, like, no, you know, that's the dress she would have worn on our date. I don't know. I'm sorry. Now I'm ranting, but yeah, I think there's a huge bit of ego there. So, and Morgan, thank you so much for the super chat. What's "Don't Insult My Intelligence, Derek" about? I don't. We sleuthed a little bit from the previews. That seems to be about Derek pursuing Tayshia at some point. I imagine it's once the whole Demi stuff comes through, and she dumps Derek for her girlfriend, Christian. Is the name, by the way, not the Christian who's just eliminated, but I imagine so. Then he turns to Tayshia, and we've seen this before in the very first episode when Tayshia came in. Derek was already there. They had a conversation, and she was like, "So who are you kind of thinking about? Who are you here to see?" And he said, "Like you." I talked about it in my week 1 video, and so I'm thinking that's what it's about. It's a fight over Tayshia. Could be something else, but it'll probably be Tayshia, and Derek will probably say something mean, like, "What? I'm not doing anything," and then, like, "I'm not pursuing," or I don't know. It could be something like that, and then John Paul Jones says, "Don't insult my intelligence. I know what you're doing." That's my best guess right now. And Lauren West, thank you so much for the super chat. Is Demi getting special treatment? She will be. She definitely will be. Like, not, you know, I think it's just great TV. the producers are thinking. And so I think her girlfriend's going to come on, and they're going to get kind of free roses for the week. Because, one, we've seen Demi, unless it's a major fake out, on a beach in a sort of engagement ceremony situation. Um, and so unless that's a major fake out, I'm thinking that so she makes it far. We've seen a lot more footage of her in paradise with her girlfriend, so we know that they continue to be on the show for seemingly more than one episode. And if they decided that they were just going to keep the rules as they are, like men get the power, women get the power, men get the power, yada yada yada, so on and so forth, then obviously there's two women, so they would not be able to give roses to each other. So they're just going to kind of give one rose to the other each week, is what I'm thinking, or they just won't hand out roses at all, something like that. But it's going to be something that they say they're going to make an exception for the two, and everybody's probably just going to be very happy for them. So it's all going to be it's all good. It's fine, and you know what? It's you know, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You know, let them do this. You know, if this is their, and I think it's good. It's good for the show. It's good for the show as well to have you know, have something different, and you know, something more like, you know, more than just the usual, like, you know, typical bachelor relationship of dude girl, white dude white girl kind of thing. It's cool. Let's let them do it, right? It's about time. So that's my thought on that. But yeah, she definitely will be. There will be special treatment for sure. Any any thoughts on that intimate yoga date with Caitlin and Blake? Um, yeah, so I think it's going nowhere. I think it's going nowhere. I think there would sooner be a thing with someone else, or maybe Christina, than her. So Fancy Pants, thank you so much for the super chat. Wait, doesn't JPJ make out with a blonde woman in the previews? Yeah, so there is that as well. We've seen JPJ and Haley Ferguson, one of the twins, one of the Ferguson twins, who has been in Paradise multiple times, multiple Paradise seasons. Um, Now, we know it's going to be Haley Ferguson and not Emily Ferguson, and if you have no clue which one is which, don't worry about it. But one of the sisters, Emily, is dating a hockey player, and from the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And so I imagine it won't be her, and that it will just be Haley showing up in Paradise. So we have seen it was like JPJ, he's on a date and he's like rubbing sunscreen on her, and he says something like "sorry mom" or whatever, and then they're holding hands running into the beach. But my guess is that it's just Haley comes in and she takes a JPJ on a date. She has a date card. Everyone seems to come in with a date card, and JPJ is there. She asks JPJ. A lot of people, even if they're in good relationships, still go on the dates, to like confirm their feelings for one person or another. Could be that this sort of drama with Derek happens, and JPJ decides, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Could be that Tayshia and JPJ have like a little outing and then like come back together. But we have seen sleuthing of an Instagram story from JPJ on his boat and Tayshia on what looks to be the exact same boat, and a post she later deleted. That makes me think that they are still together after Paradise, but we can't say with absolute certainty. And Andreas Martinez, thank you so much for the super chat. Is there a possibility of Jordan returning to a future season, or are his chances done? I think there's a possibility, absolutely. they seem to be going in the direction of adding more people, like more and more and more to Paradise. Like this is the largest cast apparently, all around, including future contestants coming on and everything like that, that they've ever had. So I would say there's a reasonable possibility that he's going to be back. That being said, it's dependent on so many factors. Like we've got contestants from next season of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. How many of those people do they want on? Are they going to be trying to be like filling up spots in Paradise? Um, so there's going to be multiple factors. Does his body slam hurt his chances? A little bit, but I would say only a little bit. I think they are very much like more interested in good TV than they are in um, keeping that out of Paradise. They're very much would be of the interest in. Their interest would be in, oh yes, that was a year ago. Let's forget. You know, let's bring him on for good TV. Are Canadians allowed? Absolutely. We've had a Canadian Bachelorette. We've had on the like the U.S. version, and we've had a Canadian guy, Kevin and Astrid, and what's his guts? Freaking why can't I remember his name? Ugh, he starts with a D. He's like a big meathead kind of guy. Anyways, someone will say it in chat. They know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, it really sucks when you show up on Daniel. Absolutely, that's it. Daniel, thank you. Um, yeah, it really sucks when you show up on Paradise late. The couples are already established, and you probably won't find anything serious due to time. Absolutely, and that's very true. It's a very, very rare that this happens. They mostly are there as spoilers, as people who come in and ruin kind of relationships, and it has happened before. Um, I'm trying to remember. I remember there was like a guy. He was like the lamp guy from one season, and he came in late and kind of ruined a relationship. But yeah, there's multiple people who are from Canada. Yeah. Um, but it is sort of like they have no chance. They kind of it's kind of a last ditch effort. So yeah. Oh, and your dogs are cute. Thank you so much. Yes, Jackson and Bob. If you're coming to the stream late, we did our 50K dog reveal. Jackson and Bob, my guys, who are now just like sleeping away. They're really cute. Yeah, Kevin was so underrated. I'm gonna miss his interviews. He was kind of like not in there, but he did say something today, like that kind of made me go okay. Because at the end he said something like, "Oh, I would have really liked to have pursued Sydney or Christina or this," and I was kind of like, "Oh, okay." Um, Maybe he was a little bit across the board. I don't know. I heard they're training the bartender dude to be the next Chris Harrison. Yeah, a lot of people talk about that. Wells being the next Chris Harrison, but Chris Harrison is not going anywhere anytime soon. Anytime soon at all. Has there ever been a Bachelor slash Bachelorette who has gone to Paradise after being the lead? I don't know if that's happened on the U.S. version. It's happened. I know it recently happened in Bachelor in Paradise Australia, where they had that happen. And then the person that he picked was also on after they had broken up. Um, yeah, and Wells is engaged. Yes, he is engaged. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. In 50 years, when Chris Harrison finally retires, we'll see if Wells is even ever willing to do it. But yeah, and another happy birthday, Bob. Oh yeah, thank you so much. If anything, Ben would be the next Chris. Yeah, I know. Ben always seems to come back around. Yeah, Lauren Zima would not let Chris. Yeah, yeah. Bachelor Fantake for Bachelor in Paradise bartender. That's what I want to do. I want to be there, sloshing out drinks for like 20 minutes an episode, because you see other bartenders there. It's not always Wells, and they bring Wells out for the interviews when they've all kind of like are down on their luck and talking about their relationship problems, and Wells comes in for his like screen time. And how much of the real conversations do you think they edit out? Like talking about wanting children, hobbies, friends. Do you think that would bore us? I would love to know more about the cast. I know they do cut out a ton of that, because really there's a lot of time there and days of footage, but they condense it into 2 hours, and it feels like a long time, like 2 hours over 2 days, but it's not at all. So a lot gets cut. I know that there's tons that gets cut out, more so in The Bachelor and Bachelorette. And there's also a lot of stuff you don't see, like how much they travel in the day, and how little time they actually only have on their dates. And then it's like they separate, and then they come in, and then they separate, and it's really kind of static meeting with each other. Honestly, I feel like if I showed up in Paradise, it would be hard not to just flirt with Wells. You'd be barking up the wrong tree. He's engaged. He's engaged, or I guess it would be the right tree. Well, I don't know, but he's engaged. What will it take for Bachelor Fantake to get noticed by Bachelor Nation franchise? Come on, let's get me on that beach. So, goodbye, good night, Brenda. Thanks for coming in to the chat. Yes, it was. I bet you can make a killer mojito. Hopefully one day I'll be on the beach and be able to do that. I prefer a good gin martini. Yeah, blind tweet Chris with Bachelor Fantake. Yeah. And shout out to the staff there. You were there. Were you at the beach, the Bachelor in Paradise beach? That's really cool. And you're seeing some of them on the show. That's really cool. Yeah. Wells isn't doing everything there. That staff is working hard. So, yes, and which couples are you shipping? I am so shipping Tasha and JPJ. I'm definitely, even though there's going to be a little bit of drama apparently in the upcoming episode with Chris B going on a new date, but Chris B and Katie seem to be like they are going to be the other engaged couple. If you watch my videos, you can check that out. And Hannah and Dylan also seem to be that one. And I think Demi and her girlfriend are going to be basically it from now at this point on, and Derek's going to eventually pit her out. Would you ever do a name reveal? Well, I've told people my first name is Chris, not Harrison. Best couple on Bachelor in Paradise right now, Tasha JPJ, in my opinion. Do you ever think there's a chance Luke P would ever be on Bachelor in Paradise? I think very, very little. Do you think Tyler will be on Dancing with the Stars? I think so. Here's my conspiracy about that. I think remember there was like a few weeks ago, Good Morning America was going to release 2 people of the Dancing with the Stars cast, and then all of a sudden they just never announced it. I think those 2 people were going to be Hannah and Tyler, but I think Tyler doesn't want to do it. So I don't think he will be. I think it's just going to be Hannah now. I think Hannah's pretty confirmed for it. But we are going to be coming to the end of the stream right now. So if we want to get in our questions, let's get them in. Let's get them in now. Chris, not Harrison, has a weird name. Yeah, I know. I know. My parents knew, though. They knew from the start. Yeah, Tasha said she was single. Yeah, of course she does. Of course she does. I mean, like I think yeah I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But that the sleuthing with Tasha on the boat, I think, is pretty hard to forget. How involved do you think Chris Harrison is in the show outside of hosting? He seems to be on the set quickly when needed. Yeah, isn't he also like a producer as well? He might not have started as one, but he I think he is now. So, and he's also the quote face of producers as well. So we obviously saw the guy talking to Christian and Jordan, like producing, saying sorry, we have to kick you both off. But I think Chris B also, or sorry, Chris Harrison. I mean, is the like when they need a face of a producer making a decision, making an announcement, that he comes out and does that. So they like bust him out for that. Is Demi going to leave? The only way she is going to leave is if she leaves and brings back her girlfriend. That's the only way she leaves. It would only be for a moment. She's not going to leave for the whole time. How many times do you end up rewatching the episodes / previews when making your videos? And when are you rating Hannah season? I'm definitely going to be doing that. It might be a bit later than I would like the rating, just because we've got like multiple videos more than I usually do in a week, because Paradise is like extra. But I watch. I definitely watch a few times the show uh, before the recaps and previews. But with the recaps, I can only watch it so many times because I'm trying to get it out quickly. So I do like a rewatch, and then like I kind of a skim through to get everything and see if I tried to, or if I missed something. But the preview I will watch multiple times to try and like check the background and see stuff like that, see if there's anything I can pick out. Thoughts on Hannah Brown definitely being on Dancing with the Stars? Twitter confirmed. Yeah, by Mole Sleuthing. Yeah, I saw that too. Definitely, like, I'm not surprised. I think it was one of those things where everyone like kind of knew it was going to be a thing, and then or a lot of people seemed to speculate it. It seemed kind of like a good match, and there was rumors out there. So the confirmation, I think, is a cool little confirmation, but not that surprised. And do you think Hannah chooses Blake? No. No. Definitely Dylan. Yeah, and did you see my comment earlier about Hannah's bracelet on her one-on-one with Dylan, and how it's really similar to the bracelet from the Pros? Yeah, we have seen that bracelet multiple times already, and I posted in one of the videos that is the same bracelet. So I think it's just more sleuthing confirmation, which is awesome. So that's going to be it for this live stream. Thank you all for coming out. We're going to be back tomorrow night. I'm going to try to do a video now tomorrow as well, and do instead of like a 16 plus minute one for the week, do two like 10ish minutes minute ones. We'll see how that goes. If people are like, you know what, I like the one video, the one longer video, we'll go back to it, but we'll see what people are thinking. We'll see how everything goes. Thank you everyone for joining us in this live stream tonight. Thanks for checking out the Discord. We're gonna be patient with that as we figure everything out, and get everything kind of more streamlined there. Thanks for watching the dog reveal, getting to know me a little bit more in my life, my pups, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, Bachelor Fantake.